It's just been harder and harder and harder to find those people to work.
Hey, everybody don't believe in God in the Bible until shit pop off that make you start believing in God in the Bible. Now, this might be rage bait, but I seen this on my social media this morning. Some MAGA farmers and field owners stated that they thought black workers would be taking the jobs of Latinos who were deported. White farmers are all over the country are currently devastated by Donald Trump's policies and state that they don't know how they're going to make it this year or next year, selling some of their property to be able to survive. Look. It's in the word. He has dug a hole and hollowed it out. He has fallen into a pit of his own making. His mischief returns upon his own head, and his own skull his violence descends. And black people are over here like, let the wicked fall into their own nets while I pass by safely.
Didn't I tell y'all that's what they thought? They thought black people were going to go get them jobs in the field. Since the migrants are gone, we ain't got no jobs, so we going to go back in the field and pick. That's what they thought. Oops. We worked for free in this country for 290 years. We ain't picking nothing for y'all. Y'all better get y'all white folks out there and go pick them fruits and them vegetables and take care of them cattle and the chickens. We not going out there. But I made a video. I can't find the shit, damn it. But I made a video when this all started, and I said they think black people are going to go back and work in the fields. That's why Donald Trump said they are taking black jobs. They think that's what we're supposed to go do. And they're finding out real quick. Black people ain't coming. Y'all can hold your breath on that one. We ain't picking shit for y'all. We will grow our own vegetables and take care of our own selves. We not going to them fields. Y'all better figure out what y'all want to do about this immigration policy and these mass deportations, or white folks, get your ass out there and go pick your own goddamn food. But we ain't coming.
Black farmers. Imagine how healthy we would be if we had more black farmers. Or let's pretend we have.
And truck drivers here in Iowa and across the country are making tough decisions as this war drags on. And they tell me that the high price of diesel is pushing them to their limit.
Dory Martin is hauling rocks for a construction project in Barlow, Iowa. She owns her own truck. Her business runs on diesel, now up about 50% since the war began.
It's a big thing for the bottom line, obviously.
She now spends $150 a day to fill up.
What was it before the war?
Closer to 100.
Joe Derrick spent $18,000 in December filling his 10,000-gallon fuel barrel with diesel. At today's price, he says that would cost him $40,000. He's one of the millions of farmers in the U.S. who rely on diesel to power their equipment.
How does it feel when you're filling that up and realizing how much it costs?
Well, we don't want to waste any, I'll tell you that.
Especially farming around 5,000 acres. Derrick gave us a tour of his corn and soybean farm.
You can't lose money year after year after year and keep the business going. And that's the scary part right now.
The biggest welfare queens in America are not who you think they are. I'm going to tell you who really has a standing appointment at a government ATM machine. Farmers. You know, the same people who scream socialism like it's profanity. Well, they're about to get a warm government hug in the form of what's called a bridge payment. So here's the story in plain English. A trade war got kicked off. Markets got all messed up. Crops stopped moving, money dried up, and suddenly the loudest bootstraps in America are sitting on a curb barefoot, asking the government for bus fare. Understand, your government is already expected to hand farmers $40 billion with a B in 2025. And that's not pocket change. It's actually the largest amount of money infused into the farming sector since the 90s. Farmers always claim they hate a handout. And conservatives always say struggle builds character. And the country's supposed to be all about personal responsibility. But I think that only applies to everybody else, clearly, because farmers are still begging. Farmers voted for these policies. They cheered them on. I just want to know why when the bill comes due, farmers keep running to the government begging for our tax dollars. And I want to be clear, farmers getting more money will not make your groceries cheaper. It's corporate welfare. Healthcare is still an issue. Housing is a whole joke. School debt is choking people out. But the farmers are still begging. Y'all tired of winning yet?
As a black farmer, it is hilarious when I hear white farmers complain about how they're losing their government subsidies and how they can't support their farms. My farm is closing down. You know, y'all acting just like a hoe acts like when their sugar daddy moves away, you know. You start crying because he don't leave that light bill money on the freaking nightstand he used to, huh? No, stop crying. Stop bitching. Your people have had centuries of a head start on black farmers. And yet, for some reason, every other video that I see on damn Farm Talk, you know, the farm side of freaking TikTok, I'm seeing white farmers bitching, whining, and complaining. Excuse me, my people couldn't even read at one point. So why in the hell am I doing less bitching than you? You've been given everything. Imagine being so privileged that you're sitting on stolen land crying, "Daddy government, come save me. I can't afford to pay for my stolen land." Damn!
This is my 39th crop. I started in 1986, the year I graduated high school. I could plant an acre of beans in 1986 for 30 bucks. It irritates me that you don't have the guts to acknowledge that the people do not pay the tariffs. I don't care if it's John Deere, Case, Caterpillar, all that stuff is outsourced overseas. And the guy that pays it is the guy that purchases it. I can buy a bearing for a combine, and it's made in Taiwan or who knows where. Parts have over doubled in the last year, if you can get them. The dealer at Marshall has a backlog for almost 4 months because they can't get parts because of Trump's stupid tariffs. I think agriculture has taken a heck of a hit on a lot of misinformation, and he is not helping the farmer. I mean, we farm about 3,500 acres. We are going to be so far in the red. When are you going to stand up for us instead of kissing his ass for these trade deals? And the tariffs. More so the tariffs than the trade.
If we snapped our fingers and every single illegal immigrant in the United States disappeared, we would literally starve to death. You wonder why I'm so passionate about agriculture and so passionate about immigration as part of agriculture? It's that, guys. You don't know the whole picture. Now, should we have illegal immigrants working in the field? Should we have illegal immigrants working in construction? Should we have illegal immigrants working in hotels and wherever else they might be? No, we shouldn't. But they are, and there's tens of millions of them working in the system. So, if we just say, hey, they got to get out of here, well, you have to have a solution before you just send people out the door. Now, I'm not talking about ethics today, and I've talked a lot about ethics. Let's just talk about economics. Let's just talk about the reality of economics. You send 10 million people out the door that are filling 10 million roles in the United States, and 80% of those people are working in agriculture. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think you're going to eat tomorrow if there's all of a sudden not people there to harvest, to pick, to pack, to drive the tractors, to do everything? Pretty quick, you'd find yourself without any food in your mouth, any food in your stomach, and you would be starving to death. That's why I'm so passionate about it, because we can't just be stupid. We have to have a solution. The ethics aside, I'm frustrated by the ethics because I know the people that we're talking about, but I think you still want to eat. So no matter what, we got to look at a solution and not just complain about all of the people who are here illegally, because you'll starve to death without them.
Farmers and truck drivers and really anybody reliant on diesel is being forced into making tough decisions here in Iowa and across the country as this war continues to drag on. They tell me that they are being pushed in many cases to their very limits.
You can't lose money year after year after year and keep the business going. And that's the scary part right now.
Many experts say that even if the war were to end immediately, that many of these problems and elevated prices are going to last for weeks. And when it comes to farmers in particular, that might already affect next year's growing season.
Well, if farmers break, why then there's less food for everybody in the world.
Nebraskans are pissed. Bigly Askins. The Askins are pissed. Nebraskans. No one wants to hear Farmer John with his butt crack showing, married to a Karen, complaining about losing your little farm when you voted for me. They don't feel sorry for you. And I don't need your votes anymore, so I don't care. Bigly. Nebraskans, what did you think was gonna happen? If all your workers were Mexicans and we got rid of all the Mexicans, who's gonna be your workers? Guess what? You can take a page from the book of the Native Americans, followed by the African Americans, Chinese Americans, Indian Americans. Listen, what we're gonna do is crash the economy so all the rich people can buy up everything for super dirt cheap, including your land, Nebraska farmer dude. I don't know. And once we buy it for dirt cheap, we will hire you to work on said land. Hello, this is a tale as old as time. We've done it so many times before. And the fact that you thought you were exempt is absolutely hilarious. Bigly, it's funny because you guys are really effing around and finding out. Decided to put a little pause on the tariff situation. Canada had a problem and we came in and helped them solve it. They had a problem that there were tariffs that they could not pay. And I said, I will be your savior. I will take the tariffs away. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you. Nebraska, I've actually sold Nebraska to Vladimir Putin. And we know I like to say Putin. That's my friend. In exchange for 2 new mail order brides that should be here by Thursday. One of them's gonna come with me into my forever cryo chamber where I will live in infamy and be the president of the United States for the rest of existence and time. Bigly. We're doing very well with Russia. Russia's really enjoying us and we're really enjoying Russia, and they're bombing the hell out of Ukraine right now. And I don't like the Ukraine guy because that guy is tan and he's kind of sexy. I'm not gonna lie, and I don't like that about him. Vladimir Putin is much more pale. He makes me look shiny and orange. And that's the kind of leadership that I really look up to. Bigly, I do. We're having a good time. Everyone's having a good time this pregnancy, and you guys keep trying to come and interfere with your world news and your disasters. We like a good disaster. It's good for the millionaires and billionaires because we can buy up everything dirt cheap, including labor, including you. We need a workforce. Too many of you farmers want to own your own land with government subsidies. Not anymore. You got what you voted for. Bigly, you got what you voted for.
Let's listen to this Iowan farmer here.
Every politician I've ever met has said, we have to support farmers, And everything's gotten worse for the actual producer. And so if you actually look at the past 10 years and what the agribusiness lobby has spent in Washington, D.C., it's about $1.5 billion in the past 10 years lobbying
That's
Congress.
so much money.
The top 5 companies during that same time have made about $150 billion in profit.
Wow.
In the same time, we've lost 100,000 farms.
How?
100,000 farms? Family farms. So who are they lobbying for? It's not the farmer. It's not the producer. This is something that sometimes is difficult to bring up because, right now Bobby Kennedy is really fighting against like big food, for instance. And I've been told by people that taking on the fight that I'm taking on with big agriculture is much more difficult. And there's a reason for that. And the reason is big agriculture has created a caricature out of farming. And they're pretending to be the people that are defending the heritage of our farmers. But actually, they're the ones extracting every dollar of wealth out of our farms.
They're going to kill the farmers.
And bragging about farm consolidation.
Mm-hmm.
In the 2016, 2020, and 2024 elections, farmers across the United States overwhelmingly voted for Donald Trump. Now, in 2016, that was not a good decision. In 2020, that was kind of dumb. In 2024, that was very stupid. Because at least in 2016, right, we didn't know what was going to happen, but we did know that he promised mass deportations and to build a wall, which of course would directly hurt farmers. In 2020, Trump had already had a trade war going for 2 years that cost farmers so much that it sent a record number of farmers into bankruptcy and caused the administration to have to send out billions of dollars in personal checks just to keep farms afloat. So in 2024, when Donald Trump was promising both mass deportations and more tariffs, you would think that farmers would have caught on by now, right? Like, hey, we got screwed the first time. We got screwed with the tariffs. We got screwed with the immigration thing. Maybe let's not vote for the guy who's promising to do all of that on steroids. But they did. And all of us across the country, of course, are paying the price for that. And these farmers are pissed off. Rightfully so. Like, you have every right to be pissed off if you didn't vote for Trump. But these farmers that recently spoke to the media did, in fact, vote for Donald Trump. And now they're trying to say that we didn't know this was going to happen. Let me read you a couple of these quotes. We're just in such a state of shock. We just don't really even know how to respond to all this. Talking about the on-again, off-again trade war. We thought this was sacred and really untouchable. Also referring to, by the way, cuts to the U.S. Department of Agriculture that stopped payments to farmers under a program that was started under Biden. So it's just quite a shock and very devastating. Everyone thinks all farmers voted for this, but we did not vote for this.
The headline reads that California lettuce growers skip the harvest, plow their crops back into the ground. Now, why would a farmer that planted all of these lettuces into the ground, 300,000 of them, into the ground, and then all of a sudden reconstitute it back into the soil? They say it's because of that outbreak that I can't mention that gives you the explosive diarrhea. And here's another headline. In California, they're actually destroying 420,000 peach trees because Del Monte doesn't want to buy them anymore. They've shut down their plant in Modesto and Houston. And as a farmer, I can tell you that one of the hardest things to find when it's harvest time is labor to pull your crops. And with the decline of people that are willing to do this kind of work, we have seen California, which is the breadbasket of the United States, suffer in strawberries, lettuce, peaches, pomegranates, apricots, just to name a few. And it's because there's no labor. They're making up these fucking these health issues to tell you that explosive diarrhea because Taco Bell. Listen, anybody who's eaten a fucking taco knows that you're gonna shit through the eye of a needle. It's part of the fucking game plan of eating the taco. You know that that's what's gonna happen. Has nothing to do with this whole outbreak. And I want people to understand that if you don't have people picking your fruit when that window, right? When a harvest comes in and it needs to be picked, you have like a 1, 2, 3 day window until the insects, the birds, and nature takes it back. And well, when labor is short and you don't have the people picking it, there's no reason to, I can't even make this up anymore, man. I can't even, it breaks my heart to know that these farmers have placed so much effort, time, money, energy into their crops and they can't find labor to harvest it. This is the whole story. And I've tried to do this video about 4 times and I just can't bring myself to put it together. Fuck it, there you have it.
Call me crazy, but I think it's actually wild as fuck for y'all to be asking us to donate to the future farmers of America when if they voted the right way, the money that they were getting previously they would still be getting, and they wouldn't be out here penny pinching poor people for money. You won't get my change. I voted for you to get money. You voted against it. Good luck in the future.
On today's episode of FAFO, farmers are again asking for help.
This is not your ordinary farm crisis. We call it Farmageddon, and it really is tough time.
So you guys are calling it Farmageddon. Real estate investors are calling it Farmapalooza as they can't wait for you to foreclose on your property and then come in and buy your property for pennies on the dollar. And the rest of us that didn't vote for this administration are calling it I told you so Cella. And let's hear what one of the farmers have to say about this.
Our bill collectors want money now. The chemicals, the seed companies, the fertilizer companies, they need it now. They don't want to hear, oh, I'm waiting on a farm bill payment that's going to come 2 years from now. They don't want to hear that.
Unless money comes now, it's projected up to 1/3 of Arkansas farmers could face bankruptcy or be forced to shutter their operations.
Now, I have a couple of suggestions that actually might help you in this situation. 1, pull yourself up by the bootstraps. 2, cut back on the avocado toast. 3, enjoy less Starbucks. 4, perhaps find a part-time job. And 5, cut back on your subscriptions like Netflix, Hulu. And it looks like all these farmers have a very similar solution as to what can fix their problems.
Haney hopes if the right person hears his message, it'll spark a positive outcome before it's too late.
77% of farmers voted for President Trump. And all we're asking for President Trump and this administration to do is take care of the farm.
And by take care, they mean another government handout. Which is really weird and ironic because since 77% of you guys voted for this, you guys should be happy with what you got. Because of the policies and the executive orders that he enacted, you guys are suddenly freaking out even though this is what you voted for, but for some reason you guys aren't putting the blame on him. Because you guys are always, socialism is bad until you guys need it, and then you're like, no, it's good for me, but not for you. And the really ironic part is that they need help now, but in that big beautiful bill that was signed, they're actually going to get help at the end of 2026. So I would suggest that you guys properly try to manage your money until the end of 2026 instead of asking for help now. Drop a comment and let me know what you think about the situation. And if you enjoyed this video, give me a like, share, follow, and repost, and I'll also be posting this onto my YouTube shorts.
Man, all I'm seeing is farmers in Arkansas, Nebraska. Why y'all crying? Shut up. This is what you voted for. This is what you asked for. He did it to you last time. And you didn't think he was going to do it to you this time. So now y'all want some help. Now y'all want them government subsidies. Now y'all want that government money. The same thing that you voted for not to happen, for people not to get government help. Now you got your hands stuck out. Don't work like that. You made this bed. All that racism, all that hate, the same people you wanted to go are the same people that work those farms. See, you let your racism get the best of you. Now, all I see is Arkansas farmers. Oh, I'm about to lose my farm. The government ain't doing this. The government, you voted for this shit. Now you just got to eat it. But meanwhile, you see my black farmers over there. My black farmers that ain't been getting that government help, that been doing it on their own. They fine. They chilling. They thriving. So you might need to call some of them black people to get you some help. Oh, but you ain't going to do that. You're not going to do that. You're going to call Trump and them. But you know what? They're not going to answer. They're not going to help you, bro. So, just like they tell us, them bootstraps you've been talking about, I'm think you're going to have to grab yours and get to work. We out.
So, I was on YouTube and I came across this video claiming that white farmers are outraged that black people do not want to work on their farms. And I thought it was fake because I was like, this has to be like clickbait or whatever. So I searched and I came across Facebook, and y'all, the comments were wild. I still wasn't sure if it was real. So I tried to go to the staffing agency's website, and y'all, apparently so many people went to their website that the website crashed. So I figured, okay, maybe this is actually real. So they're basically offering $11 an hour to pick blueberries, 9 to 10 hours a day, 7 days a week, from May to July in Louisiana heat. Now, I never heard of LaRanger, so I decided to look it up real quick. So here's some info. And just so you know, my source is this website called places.us.com. So anyway, livability is a C-. Population is less than 6,000. Demographics is almost 91% white, followed by black, then Hispanic, then Indian, then Asian, and pretty much 0 Hawaiian. I saw that they voted Republican in 2020, but it probably doesn't take a genius to guess how they voted in 2024. So that's just to give you a little info about the town. So anyway, back to what I was saying. So $11 an hour is what they're offering. Full-time, 7 days a week, 9 to 10 hours a day. Now, according to salary.com, Louisiana's minimum wage is $7.25 an hour. So this is a bump. But let's be real. Now, for some people, they might say, oh, it's a job. Go work it. It's a job. But it's not a job, you know. It's more like a sentence. And then when you look at who they expect to take these jobs, you don't have to guess. It's a page straight out of history. Black folks, migrant workers, you know, the ones who are currently facing deportation right now, vulnerable communities getting used for back-breaking labor for pennies. But people are saying this is what they voted for. So what do you think? Is it FAO season or what?
I'm in my greenhouse planting some vegetables. And I'm thinking about all these farmers that's losing the farms. All them white farmers. Not the black farmers, because we donating to them. You don't hear the black farmers crying the blues, but them white farmers, oh shit, they talking about they losing their farms now because of Trump. But they voted for Trump. But they losing their farms. Right. The black farmers, you don't hear them crying the blues, right? Here's the difference. See, they wasn't dependent on the government. When you depend on the government to take care of you, my daddy told me never depend on the government. Now see, if they cut my little Social Security check, I ain't gonna say little, but because I can use that piece of coin that I worked for. You understand? I worked 32 years for my monies, for my coins. So it's mine. But I didn't depend on the government in my retired life. You don't depend on the government. No. Anyway, back to the farmers that's losing their farms. I can't even say I feel sorry for you. But this is what I'm going to do. Look here, people. Let me tell you something. Oh, look at here. This is going to be some good eating right here. You understand what I'm saying? Look here. I just grow my own stuff. Look here. That's what I'm doing right there. Yeah. So, I ain't worried about them white farmers losing their farms. I ain't even feeling sorry because they voted for Trump. You get what you asked for. You asked for the tariffs, you got them.
Arkansas farmers are taking their own lives because of what's happening to their farms because of Trump's policies. And it's only going to get worse for farmers because this is all laid out in Project 2025. So in Project 2025, the plan is to roll back all of the protections that farmers currently have access to. Basically, there's different programs. There's crop insurance. There's these commodities programs. And most of these are either subsidized or paid for by the government. So farmers, if a small farm gets hit with, a weather disaster or something else happens where they can't profit off their crop like they usually do, they're backed up. They're safe. They can, float for another year because of these programs. They want to get rid of these programs. They want to take the burden of these programs off the government and put it back onto the farmers, meaning these small farms get hit with one disaster and they're fucked. They're done. Guess who won't be done, though, if they get hit with one disaster? Giant mega corporations, these huge corporate farms that have all the capital they need to float if they get hit with a disaster. They're not going to go under. What they're going to do is buy up all these little farms and consolidate them into these giant mega farms. That's what the plan is. And I know it's easy to be like, oh, fuck these farmers. They voted for this. This is what they get. But this isn't good for any of us if this happens. I know like the FAFO is delightful, but it isn't good for any of us. And it's scary. Like these are the people that feed us, that provide our food, and we need them. And it's horrifying to see what they're trying to do to them.
Damn, farmers are really getting it hard from Trump, aren't they? Check this out. Look at these farmers in Iowa.
This is not just a temporary blip. This is not something that farmers can work around. No one anticipated that we would have a shock to the system. All the experts did not see this coming when you see this rise in fertilizer prices because of this war. And really, no one's really seeing a way out.
That shock to the system means that diesel now is more than $5 a gallon, and fertilizer costs are up more than 30%, adding thousands of dollars of new costs to already strained farmers we met, like Aaron Lehman.
When something like this happens, farmers just have to take the hit somehow and find a way to get a crop in the ground this year.
President Trump's trade policies...
I also want to remind everybody that we had to do a bailout for farmers from our taxpayer dollars of $12 billion. And if you think other countries are going to be buying from our farmers for the next 3 years, if ever, you're sadly mistaken. Get ready to dig into your pocket to give the farmers more money thanks to the Rune trade by President number 47. If you found this crazy yet informative, please like, comment, follow, and share for more.
So on another day of the Hispanic community wants Black people to fight for them while they are racist. So here we have Maggot. Oh, does that say Maggie? That's telling me, let me scoot and caboodle my ass out the way, that they are hard workers, and if they get deported, then Black people are not going to work in the field, in the farms. So who's gonna tell Maria that we built this fucking country and that they were too lazy to build their own, just like a Hispanic tether, and that's why they're here? But I want you guys to see who Maria Maggie actually is. So let's have a little journey, why don't we? Yikes, jump fucking scare, because girl, what is going on here? Are there supposed to be faux locks? I'm confused. You hate Black people. Clearly by your nasty or racist undertones, thinking that Black people are going to somehow become enslaved because we're not hard workers like you. Who did this to you? Who did this to you? Because they need jail. But let's continue. I'm sensing a pattern. You can't even make this up. The most racist types always cosplay. And that includes everybody who's not Black American. Y'all cosplay us to death. Y'all cosplay us to death. And when I go to your profile, I always keep seeing remnants of my people. But my people were never there. And maybe, I don't know, the filter is doing you no justice. But let's continue. Now I want you to really sit with it. And I know you guys always say that you guys as Hispanics are hard workers and Black people aren't. Like, it's just so interesting how all you tethers of different races and ethnicities always come here with the nastiest tone towards Black Americans, the very people who built this country, the very people that as children, we supported your kind. Hello? One of my favorite cartoon characters. Of course I know you guys are hard workers. This little guy was a super hard worker. Let's see who else is a hard worker. Now, she's kind of new age. She's kind of new to the block, at least for my old ass. But that bitch is always traveling. Love her down. She is always traveling. She's a hard worker too. Will Dora get to... Dora, how do you get to the field? ¿Dónde eres el field? No sé. But let's continue. Now, this person might be a future hard worker. Oh, do they belong to you? Yeah, see, that's what happens when you get on the internet and you want to talk nasty and disgusting and act like Black people are on, you know, government assistance, even though the stats clearly show that white people and Hispanics are literally at the top of that. So that was hilarious. And then you say that you guys are hard workers. It's giving, y'all literally sound like the Africans and the whites. That's why we always say that y'all are one and the same, because are you gonna tell him that Black people aren't hard workers? Is that what you're teaching at home? I want to know, Maria, is that what you're teaching at home? The class would like to know. Let us